Hello there, how's everyone going? Come in, this is my van. Right there, my name is Robbie Phillips and I'm a professional climber from Scotland. I am right now parked outside my girlfriend's flat in Edinburgh, my hometown. This is a Citroen Relay L3H2. The L stands for length, the H stands for height. I had a camper van before and it was much smaller than this. It was a Ford Transit. The Citroen is quite a bit longer and also much higher. I'm 6 foot tall, so I need the extra height for sure. I think I've still got like a few inches above my head there, but this is perfect. It means I can stand up tall and make my dinner and not have to worry about bobbing my head off anything. So one of the things I really wanted was the ability to get from the back part of the van into the cab area. Yeah, there have actually been a couple of times when I've been in the van and someone's actually been trying to break in, and it freaked me the hell out. So I just wanted, really super easy access into the front, so that if that happened, I could escape. Okay. The other thing about having this sort of open area is that it does allow the passenger seat in the front to be a total swivel chair, which just kind of opens the space up a lot more. If I'm sitting down in that chair, I can have like my table up, I can be working on the computer, or I can be chopping vegetables, while someone else is cooking. The other cool thing about this is, as well as it being an open area, I also wanted to have some sort of secrecy and privacy as well. So I've got this really nifty little curtain that comes all the way back down. And honestly, when this is down, there's no light from inside that gets out. It is completely dark. And if anybody was looking from the outside in, if the chair was swiveled around the normal way, like no one would be able to see back either. They'd think it was just like a partition wall essentially. So it's just really great for keeping that privacy, keeping everything disconnected while still allowing, the freedom to sort of get into the front whenever you want. And I've also got this like neat wee space up here, which is just brilliant for just putting any extra bits of stuff you have, sort of a bit more storage. I put the table for down there up there at the moment. Also, a massively important part of the design was being able to have a fingerboard, and this was kind of a little bit trickier for the guys to build out because the height between the door and the roof is so short, so they had to build this little extension part here, and I'm really glad they did. Another big part of it was being able to sort of change the fingerboard, or take the fingerboard off really. And so they built this sort of frame here, and I just unscrew these. Having a fingerboard just makes a massive difference when you're on climbing trips and you need to keep up your finger strength. I do a lot of big alpine objectives, and I always find after being on like an expedition for like 5-6 weeks, I just get super weak. So having like this fingerboard on those sorts of trips just allows me to keep my fingers in tip-top shape. That's great. It's been great fun. It's getting a little bit dark in here, so I'm going to put on the lights. That's one of the things I love about this van, is it's just so bright inside. I asked for like lots of light and this sort of like very light coloured wood as well, just because when you're in a van, I just really wanted somewhere that was really homely, really nice, really bright atmosphere. My old van, although it was great, it was dark inside, and sometimes you just felt like you were getting cabin fever in there. So the kitchen is definitely a big upgrade for me. I've got a 3-burner hob, a beautiful kettle, very nice wood to go with the decor. This cool chopping board, which when you take it off, it's a sink underneath. Even got an elephant hose, an elephant tap, which is super cool, with a couple of different settings. Really nice 80-litre fridge here. I kind of didn't skimp on the size of the fridge I could have gone for like a 50 litre if I wanted, but you know, I eat a lot of food and I spend a lot of time in places where there's just like no supermarkets, and I'm just like off the grid camping in the van with no access to any facilities. So I think having a good sized fridge for me and my climbing partner are important. I've got a couple of sort of storage compartments here for, you know, cutlery and pots and things, a nice little sort of twist lock system here to keep everything in place, so when I'm driving it's not gonna crash all over the place. Although I will say a couple of times I've forgotten to do that, started driving and it's gone but good thing the guys at Rome were so good at building this and didn't just like rip off the side.
You should tell the knife story.
Oh, the knife story.
In the old van.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, in my old van, I had left a knife on the dashboard. Not the dashboard. I left a knife on the kitchen counter, and then as I'd like slammed the brakes on one time, the knife flew forward and almost killed a friend of mine. What was it? How did it go again?
So we just shoved it up in the compartment,
Yeah.
like because your other one didn't have the closes.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember.
it was just like up there. Well, a jar of peanut butter nearly killed Ewan,
Yeah.
because it was just up there and didn't have any secure, and then a knife came out and nearly it was a death trap, your old van.
Yeah. This van's much better because everything has a place, and I think that's important, you know.
You child-proofed it.
I basically Robbie proofed it, you know. Huge game changer for me here is having hot water. So that was a really nice little addition here. You just take this thing off, you push on, and that's hot water on. And all I do is I, you know, just start put the hot water on the tap, and like goes all the way up to 60-70 degrees. So like definitely hot enough to burn yourself, really. But great for when you're washing your hands after climbing. Great for, you know, cleaning dishes up in the evening. It just makes life a hell of a lot easier rather than having to like boil a kettle or something, you know. You just got it on tap, literally. So last winter I was climbing up in Scotland in the mountains with a bunch of friends of mine, and I got to show off one of the fanciest parts of this van, which any winter climber, any skier, snowboarder, basically anyone who does winter sports is going to be super jealous of. And it's this little baby here. This is like a little sliding door cupboard, which has completely waterproof interior lined, but the diesel heater has a diversion port into here, and when I've got it full blast, it pumps that area full of hot air and dries your clothes, your winter boots, just like so quickly. Another big thing is having a good source of power. I run a YouTube channel and I'm a professional climber, and we're constantly filming stuff on the road with no access to, you know, decent power sources apart from the van. So we've got like a mains supply that goes direct to two very hefty 120 amp batteries underneath here. We've also got different USB ports around the place, one here, one by the bed. We've also got tons of storage space underneath these two seats here, but one of the things I really wanted was to have enough space in the van for people to sleep, but also not sort of like losing out on comfort. Although this is the double bed here, I quite like my double bed and I sleep like a starfish, so sleeping with another dude in there would not be the most comfortable for me. So I quite liked the idea of having a secondary bed, and so this is what this doubles up as. You'll see here there's two like wooden slats that come down here, and I just shove the table in the middle and I put them together and they make a bed or even a sofa. You just grab this thing here, this table, put it down here like that, and then bring them forward. Boom. And it is a single bed. It's not quite big enough for me, but I would still be totally comfortable with it. And you know, if we're like watching a movie or something, it makes like a really nice like little sofa to have. So in my old van, I had a rock and roll bed. Essentially, it was a sofa most of the time, and when I wanted to go to bed at night, I'd pull it forward and then sort of put everything in place, and then it was a bed, which was really great. You know, for a smaller van, it allowed you the freedom to kind of like have more space if you want to hang out, but also, you know, a bed for sleeping in as well. But the knock-on effect of that was it kind of got a bit annoying having to keep pulling it in and out, and it didn't give you a lot of storage space underneath either. So for this van, I really wanted a fixed bed, and yeah, as I said, the benefits of the fixed bed are it's up permanently. Underneath the bed, there's a massive garage space with tons of space for putting gear and bouldering pads and all that sort of stuff. But probably the biggest quandary I had with myself was over the decision of whether to have a widthways bed or a lengthways bed. And this is something that people who are as big as me are gonna struggle with as well. I'm 6 foot tall, that's 183, 184 centimeters, and this was the thing I you know, worried about for months and months and months, was whether I should, you know, get it widthways or lengthways. And the guys at Rome were great. They said they could build out the sides. I'd lose a bit of insulation on the sides of the van, but I'd get those extra inches that would make a full double bed. And I just committed to it, and yeah, it's perfect. Boom. We've got these nice cushiony bits at each end of the bed, which make it even more comfortable. It's like more than full length of my body. And it's just wonderful to go to sleep in at night, or even just to go to sleep now actually. So my last van had windows all around the thing, and what that was great for was it provided a lot of light. And for someone who spends a lot of time in vans, that's something I always wanted. I didn't want to feel like I was ever stuck inside, you know, a metal box getting cabin fever. So I wanted something similar in this van, but maybe less windows, but in the right places. So I hunted for a van that would have windows on the back, because when I wake up in the morning, I really like the idea of looking outside, seeing what's going on, you know, being able to look from my bed, what the sky's doing, what the weather's like, without getting out. And so the double windows in the back are great. There's a dark sheet over it, which makes it impossible to look in, but easy to look out. I've even got these curtains here that pull over and make it completely blackout even when there's light coming from the inside. The next thing was the skylights. I found these big massive skylights online, and I think they're usually built for, or they're designed for you know, sort of normal campers, like I don't know what you call them, RV sort of thing, yeah. But I really like the idea of having a big one over the bed, which brought tons of light in. You know, if it was during the day, you get that extra light in there, but also at night you can look up into the stars. And if you're in a hot country, the added benefit is it has tons of ventilation. You can open it like this, it brings the ventilation in. You've got the midgie net here, so on hot nights in hot countries, you're not going to get bitten alive. But the other benefit of this one is it's also got a blackout. So it means that if you really don't want to have any light in and you want to sleep in the morning, you can. So I've got this one, but I've also got a secondary skylight up at the front. That secondary skylight acts as a ventilation point as well for when I'm cooking. But if I have both of them open, then it creates a really good circulation of air throughout the whole van. So this is the garage space. Again, it was really important to me to have a space where I could put all my climbing gear in, bouldering pads, you know, a big wall gear. I've got my portal edge here as well. All my winter climbing equipment. Sometimes I go on like big long trips for months and I just don't know what type of climbing I'm going to be doing. So I just like to have absolutely everything in there just so that I can be ready for any adventure that I'm going to go on. So as you see, I've got my bouldering pad there. I've also got my climbing shoes all nicely lined up there. I've got some pretty unique little sort of like cubby hole spaces to keep different parts, different sort of important things, like that's my oil there. Okay, I've got some more gear around the back there. If this is where I access the water tank. So the water tank's huge. It's actually 90 litres. And the reason for that is because I go off grid a ton and just want to be able to have as much water as I really need for not just for cooking and drinking, but also for showering. One of the things that I asked for was a shower, which I've got here. So when I'm off grid in the middle of nowhere, I can quite easily have a nice hot shower. With a 90 litre tank, it's not likely it's going to run out anytime soon, as long as I'm making sure the showers aren't too long. But yeah, plenty of power in there as well. I'm a bit of an all-rounder when it comes to climbing. I do pretty much every aspect of the sport. I sport climb, boulder, trad climb, big wall climb, winter climbing, everything. So I have a hell of a lot of climbing gear, and the van is the best place to keep it all so that when I hit the road, I am literally ready for any adventure that I can possibly dream of doing. I have a YouTube channel as well, which is my current sort of new venture I've gone on to with a good friend of mine, Colin O'Brien. We're doing videos every week, every Monday, sometimes on a Friday as well. And they're just about our climbing adventures, our trips, our day-to-day life, proper crag banter, old school, no bullshit, just everything that a climber likes to see, hopefully, in a climbing video. Yeah, it's been really good fun, kind of like delving into the YouTube world, seeing the likes of Nate Murphy and the cool stuff he's been doing. I've known Nate for quite a number of years now, so it's been kind of cool seeing his progression with it. Obviously Magnus Midbo, and now we're kind of like trying to like see where we can go with it as well. So it'd be great if you see this video and you enjoy it, then head over to our channel and yeah, give us a subscribe, watch some of our videos, and yeah, hopefully see you at the crag. And if you haven't subscribed to Nate Murphy's channel, do it.
I hope you enjoyed that content. If you hadn't noticed, we do have an ebook that we sell, and the link is just in the description. It contains 160 pages crammed full of practical advice, walkthrough information, electronic schematics and part lists, which will make your job a lot easier for doing a van conversion, and it will save you time and money. Also, we've created special videos for the ebook which enable you to see walkthroughs for how to do loads of things in a van conversion. So that's for water systems, for electrics, for how to do simple woodwork joints that anyone can do. And I really believe that anyone, regardless of their experience, can make a half decent van conversion. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you watching our content, and we put a lot of effort to make it interesting, informative, and find those cool projects to feature on our channel. Consider subscribing, leave a comment, and we'll see you next week.
I think that was alright. Do you think that was alright? Yeah, it was alright. What else can we do? Can we do anything else? I don't know. Maybe.